All right, we want to get back to the hot topic right now at the press briefing at the White House. Let's bring in our panel. Susan Estridge is the former manager of the Dukakis presidential campaign, and she's a Fox News contributor. Terry Holt is a former Bush-Cheney campaign national spokesperson and a former RNC senior advisor. Chris Stirewalt is the political editor for the Washington Examiner. I know you all were listening to this press briefing as well. I found it very interesting, Susan, that at the top of this briefing, Robert Gibbs seemed to be, to a certain degree, although he said we absolutely support the Treasury Secretary, putting Tim Geithner, in a position of being the person who knew and understood what was going on here. He said he spoke to the AIG executives last week. I know he had discussions with them, he said, and I know what I read in the paper, said Robert Gibbs, about those discussions and what happened there. What do you make of that?
I think they're dancing right now. You know, they get a real hot potato on their hands here. Symbolic issues are easier to get your hands around. Not that millions in bonuses is symbolic, but it's easier to get your hands around that than it is these various trillion-dollar packages running around. And it seems pretty clear that a lot of people knew that AIG had bonuses in the works, and there's going to be a lot of finger-pointing and dancing, and I think a lot of pressure on AIG to give up those bonuses.
Yeah, Terry Holt, it was laid out quite clearly in this news conference that the information about these bonuses, that AIG was going to, be dispersing these bonuses, and they have more still to disperse that needs to be dealt with, that information came out in September of 2008 under the Bush administration. Now, the word is that is out there right now is that Tim Geithner found out about this last week. Does that seem possible to you?
It doesn't. Dancing is one word for it. But when I was watching Robert Gibbs today, I thought there's more hot air coming out of the administration. I mean, there's enough to float the West Wing. These folks don't know at all how to respond to this, but they do know a political problem when they see it. And I think at this point, they did drop the ball, as one of those reporters said in that room, and don't know quite how to pick it up again or undo it.
All right, Chris Stirewalt, what do you make of all this? I mean, clearly they are, pinning this. It was my takeaway, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but it was the focus was put on Tim Geithner in this. Now we're hearing that they are completely supporting him. He's been in hot water pretty much since he took this position. Is your takeaway that they are still supporting Tim Geithner, or that they're trying to make him the fall guy for this particular incident?
Well, the rule in Washington is that the day that your boss says that you have his complete support is a good day to brush up your resume. Anytime they're talking about why they still support somebody, it's a bad sign for that person. And Secretary Geithner has been and continues to be a real political liability to the White House. He has not rolled things out well. And if, in fact, it is revealed that he did drop the ball on this AIG bonus mess, then that would certainly be an excellent pretense for an administration to jettison some baggage.
Susan, I feel like what we're hearing quite often from the Obama administration is that things are going to be different going forward. And that's what we're hearing again today. Yes, this is what happened, but what we're going to do is work on the next thing. And I'm wondering, how long you can say that. At what point, why don't they just stand up now and say, you know what, AIG, the White House says you need to do the right thing. Get this money back.
I don't know is the answer. I think you can say that about things that happened in September 2008. You can say, look, we were out in the campaign trail. But they've been plowing more money into AIG. Tim Geithner, I think, was one of the guys who negotiated the original AIG deal and negotiated the further influx of money. Bonuses are hardly a hidden topic that, no one has thought of. So I just can't connect the dots yet, Molly. I mean, I just don't know where this one goes.
All right, Terry Holt.
Martha, I hear the bus coming down the hill, and they just pushed Tim Geithner in front of it because ultimately the Obama administration sees their 60+% approval rating with the American people, but their policies are really unpopular, and it's unclear whether they're going to work.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they see their popularity in question here. It's like a deer in the headlights.
Well, it's interesting to me that's the take that you guys have on this. Chris Stirewalt, we talked to Major Garrett, who's our reporter in the room, who covers all this very, very closely, as you know, and he said that he thinks they may be reluctant to get rid of Geithner because he's just been at the G20. He's our United States representative who is talking and meeting with these global leaders as we speak on this, and that it might be difficult for the president to go overseas in the coming weeks and say, oh yeah, remember that guy? Oh, he's not there anymore.
Oh yeah, the political consequences of pushing Geithner